So, you want to learn more about the cutest little Red Riding Hood we got here, which is Rossi. One thing you might not know is if you look at her while walking, she kind of starts skipping. And yep, if you're here to know all about Rossi, you're in the right place because in this video, I'll be breaking down everything you need to know about her, including some things that you may not have known. I'll be including 2 of her most general combos that you can easily learn and use right away. Feel free to use the timestamps for your own convenience. Just real quick before we start, if you're looking to be spending money on the game anyways, I've got a pretty good deal for you. Introducing Loot Bar, which is a website I use often for literally just cheaper top-ups for games like Arknights and Endfield. The website's simple. It offers cheaper pricing for the same bundles in the game. You can check how much you're saving right beside the price tag. You actually could save a lot, up to 26% in total if you claim new user coupons using my link in the description. So it's just a deal that you don't want to miss out. Do not worry as well because it's not too big of a hassle to set up. Simply click my link in the description, register an account if you don't have it yet, browse and choose any bundle including even some custom ones that Loot Bar provides, complete the payment, choose self top up, log into your account. Now this is secured since it is set up as a one-time cloud device, so you don't gotta worry about that. You'll then see your account in-game on the browser, go to the store and click on the bundle you purchased. You'll be able to redeem it right away and voila, you'll have your resources. Then simply log out, your data will be automatically cleared. Of course, you may have some doubts, but I do find Loot Bar 100% trustworthy, given I myself used it for the past year with no issues, and tons of other creators are using Loot Bar too. It has a high score in Trustpilot too, with thousands of good reviews from customers. Loot Bar is a pretty recognized name these days, and they even have official CD key sales among other services provided for a long time now. You can actually get up to 50% off plus cashback for popular Steam games like Arknights, so I genuinely don't think you gotta worry about Loot Bar. They've been around the block. If you're topping out anyway, why not give it a try? Use my link in the description, and yeah, you'll support me directly too. I appreciate that, and let's get back into the video. We'll start us off with a summary. Rossi is a 6-star heat element guard that plays the role of a physical status inflictor, a physical and heat debuffer, and a crit-based main DPS. She excels in single target damage while she is able to deal both physical element damage and heat element damage too. Her physical damage mostly comes from her skill and combo, while her heat damage mostly comes from her ultimate, which is also her hardest hitting attack. She can convert Art's Infliction into physical status with her combo, while her skill itself already inflicts 1 lifted on the enemy. So you'll be able to see Rossi inflict 3 physical status almost instantly for your team to take advantage of. Her debuffing capabilities comes from landing the Razor Claw Mark effect with her skill, which inflicts physical damage and heat damage taken increase on the enemy. And finally, her sheer damage output on her ultimate is quite strong as well. When you combine it with her utility while having a fully functional physical playstyle in the same team, you will see high heat damage and high physical damage all happening in tandem when a Rossi's in the team. This means her best use case will be in a team that is able to A, maximize Rossi's heat damage, and B, maximize all the physical status and damage from Rossi. That will translate to a multitude of teams, but most good ones will involve either Endmin or the Pad, which are able to convert physical status into crush damage. And when you add some arts related support in the mix, you will maximize Rossi's heat damage, land crush consistently with the rest of your team as well. It will be a very satisfying team to play with high damage overall. Now that you're acquainted with little Rossi here, let's dive deeper into her kit. Her basics are simple. Normal 5 close range slashes. Her battle skill charges at the target and deal physical damage while applying the lift effect. This means 1 vulnerability stack. If the enemy already has a vulnerability stack to begin with, the skill will further unleash a few fire embers at the enemy, which deals heat damage. Based on her first talent, these embers hitting the enemy will also apply the Razor Claw Mark effect on the target. This claw mark itself will deal physical damage over time based on Rossi's attack stat, and additionally, the target also suffers 12% additional physical and heat damage taken. This mark lasts for 25 seconds, so you want your whole damage window to be done within this time. It is quite enough. Now Rossi's second talent here actually states that when Rossi's skill deals crit damage to a target with the claw mark, it will trigger another hit of heat damage based on Rossi's attack, while restoring HP to Rossi based on her own intellect stat. The damage and healing isn't anything out of the world, but it's great to maximize it. Speaking of maximizing, if the target is also combusted, this talent's damage and healing will be increased to 1.5 times the original. The healing is somewhat helpful against the current Umbral Monument, where you do need some sustains to have it be easier. You won't be nuking boss as well with the damage of this effect, but it's still nice to have. In any case though, there will be times where you can miss a combustion in your rotation. It won't be the end of the world. Next off is her combo skill, which triggers only when an enemy has both vulnerability and at least 1 Art's Infliction stack. Rossi's combo skill has 2 sequences. The first one simply deals physical damage, that's it. The second sequence will consume all Art's arts infliction, dealing physical damage based on the number of inflictions consumed, and then apply 1 instance of lifted while buffing Rossi's crit rate and crit damage at the same time. The crit rate and crit damage boost are massive, coming in at 25 crit rate and 50 crit damage at max mastery, and it will last for 15 seconds. One more thing about this combo skill is that during sequence 2, you'll see a converging circle on the combo button. That is a new timing mechanic, and if you press the combo when the circle turns gold, you will have achieved perfect timing. If you're able to do that, this combo will further apply 1 more stack of vulnerability. You won't get this effect if you fail the timing though, so you really want to do this correctly. The tricky part with this combo is if you're spamming stuff without knowing what's happening, you might see her first combo sequence happen, then her second sequence is placed at the end of some of your allies' combo, and that might actually ruin your timing since you can't just click on her combo without going through your allies' first. Well, unless you use your mouse, which is redundant, do at least keep that in mind. For mobile users though, y'all are good. Y'all can just touch whichever combo you want, so that's not going to be too big of a deal. But still, if you play the rotation well anyway, you won't have any issues. Finally, we see her ultimate, which is her hardest hitting attack. It starts with a single target flurry of stabs. Now, the interesting part is you won't be hitting multiple enemies with this. At least I couldn't when I tried. But Rossi will end her ultimate with a wider range dual slash at the end. And that slash can hit multiple enemies. This ultimate provides 60% crit damage boost if it scores a crit, and it has quite the high multiplier. Not to mention, it also applies 1 heat infliction at the end. Like, she just does everything. With that out the way, you'll notice that Rossi's entire engine is to have her allies inflict 1 vulnerability and 1 arts infliction. Then she gets activated with her combo skill for her buffs, use her skill for a claw mark, vulnerability, plus her heat and physical debuffs, have your ally use the crush effect to convert all that physical status to damage, then end with using her own ultimate. Of course, you want to maximize her ult damage with more buffs and debuffs too from your team as a whole, which is why Rossi looks like a jack of all trades, providing support, debuffs, statuses, inflictions, and even damage output from herself, while also demanding that her team works with everything she provides. That will be the key with Rossi as well. The more you can maximize her physical side and her heat damage side, the higher her value will be to your team, and it'll just make more sense, right? To do that, you will need a physical crush character and an arts-based buffer or debuffer as well on the team. We'll cover more of that later. As for her skill upgrades priority, you want to start with her combo skill or her ultimate. Both are just as important, and then consider her battle skill, and only then basic. Obviously, do make sure her talents are upgraded first as well. Next off, let's take a gander at her builds. We'll start us off with the weapons. Obviously, her own is the best choice, providing high heat and physical damage increase. Literally no one else in the game does that but Rossi, so it's a weapon made designed for her. However though, there are good alternatives like the Protocol Pass 6-star Glorious Memory, and after that though, you can consider the 6-star Rapid Ascent just for high stats and great damage boost for staggered enemies, and thereafter you can consider the 5-star Aspirant or the 5-star Sundering Steel. Next off will be your gears. You want to look for the MI security set, given she really prefers high crit rate in order to fully trigger her ult's massive crit damage bonus. The pieces you're looking for are all the new T1 variant with the attribute they provide relevant to Rossi. You will need the new ores to craft these. The interesting part though is with her glove. You can choose to go with the same T1 variant of the MI security set, but this all new non-set Redeemer gloves actually provide slightly higher attack stats and slightly higher ult damage bonus. The reason here is simple. This glove provides only agility, and Rossi's main stat is agility. That means Rossi actually converts agility into more attack percent stat in total if you just give her more agility compared to a mix of her secondary attribute. However, let's not forget Rossi's talent will heal her based off her own intellect. So putting on this non-set glove will mean less healing for her, plus this non-set glove just has less elemental resistance for some reason anyway. Therefore, it's simple. You can use both. Redeemer gloves does more damage, while T1 MI security gloves does less but provides more healing and defenses. Now that you have built her up, let's finally jump into her best allies and team setups. We'll talk about her best allies first, and dude, buckle up because it will be a long one. I'll start with the few that has very perfect synergy with her, and that person would be Wulfgard. Wulfgard provides heat infliction that Rossi will need to trigger a combo, and he's also one of the rare characters that can forcibly land combustion. Rossi does do more damage and heal more with her skill against combusted enemies, so that does make Wulfgard a great pairing with her. Not to mention, Wulfgard's skill can consume combustion to do insanely high damage too, but you do have to keep in mind your SP usage and rotation for you to utilize that. It'll depend on how you want to play the team. Yep, Wulfgard with Rossi, a pair that's really good, just like in the story. Next best ally will be the obvious Endmin. Throw in Depan's name in there as well, but essentially these are the two consistent crush appliers in the game, and Rossi needs someone to utilize all of those physical status. That makes Endmin and Depan perfect options for Rossi, so yeah, not a surprise. Next off will be Gilberta. She's one of the best allies for Rossi too, given she can apply physical status in lift with her combo, combo, and she provides the highest value art susceptibility with her ultimate. While the duration is short, it's still able to fully cover Rossi's ult damage too, and even Wulfgard's skill into consuming combustion if you do try to time everything in that window. Next off are some of the more underrated ones for Rossi, like Akikuri, Perlika, and Ardelia. Akikuri has that heat infliction and valuable SP regen, alongside attack buffs and the link buff as well. Pretty solid for a Rossi team, honestly. Perlika, on the other hand, has an easy trigger for combo to gain electrification, allowing Gilberta to activate her combo's lifted effect. That usually means you'll be able to chain it into Rossi's combo, which is something that you really want to do. Finally, we have Ardelia being able to inflict both physical and art susceptibility, which basically means she buffs everything that Rossi is able to do, physical and arts. The only slight issue with Ardelia is that she's not able to apply any arts infliction, nor can she apply any physical status, right? You'll still be able to make it work though, which I'll show you later. After that, we will have a look at all the physical characters, which are all really good allies for Rossi, really, namely Chen Qianyu, Li Feng, Ember, and Pogranishne. These are all mostly physical status characters that you can mix and match any of them with Rossi, but obviously you'll have a different rotation and playstyle for each of them. I might make a video showcasing every single one of them, but that'll be for another day. The slight issue here is that the common physical team members doesn't have much support for Rossi. The only arts infliction you would usually have is from Rossi's ultimate. It's not exactly the easiest thing to always have, but it'll actually work out by you spamming a lot of vulnerability, using Rossi's own arts infliction in order to trigger her own combo, and for the rest of it, just try and get as much vulnerability stacks as possible while utilizing stuff like Breach from Pogranishne or Crush from Endmin in order to dish out a lot of physical damage. It's a valid team, it's just that there's not really too much of a point to like the heat damage part of Rossi, right? It'll work though. And now let's finally get into her teams. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, Rossi can be played with way too many teams. The logic with a lot of them are similar. You can easily swap out one character for another based on the list of characters I named earlier, as long as your combos and rotations make sense. I will, however, highlight two of the more common teams I think people will run, and specifically doesn't sacrifice anything Rossi can bring to the table. The first team I have for you will be Rossi, Wulfgard, Endmin, and Gilberta, while the second team I have will be Rossi, Dapan, Wulfgard, and Ardelia. More in their showcases later. To give you a general idea on the rest of her teams that you could do, you can definitely just swap out Wulfgard for Akikuri or Perlika, though again, you have to change up your rotations based on who you're using. Otherwise, you may consider a full physical team with Rossi, Li Feng, Pogranishne, and Endmin, or swap any of them for other physical options. The issue is that I mentioned earlier is the lack of arts damage support for Rossi. It will still work out though as more of a physical team. The final interesting team with Rossi would be the one that involves Laevatain. It's something that a lot of people have mentioned before, since Rossi technically does have heat infliction and they're both heat element, right? But honestly, it just doesn't make too much sense since Rossi converts heat infliction to vulnerability, or at least you can, while Laevatain would want to consume heat infliction. While you can force this team and it'll probably still work anyway, it's just not exactly the most intuitive, because ideally you would just want Laevatain to have the whole squad spam heat infliction for her with anything, skills, combos, and then Laevatain would just take all of them, consume all of them, and then get the melting flames, get her ultimate up, right? Repeat again though, you can still force the team, it'll work out. And now we can finally go into the team showcase. Before we dive in though, just understand this, there are an infinite number of ways to play these teams. As long as you maximize all buffs and debuffs, maximize all the physical status into Crush, you'll be fine. What I'll be showing is simply an example that you can pick up if you'd like. So here comes the first team. You want to start with Gilberta's skill. After the nature infliction hits, then do Wulfgard's skill. Do not use his combo before his skill happens. This will allow you to gain combustion, and that'll activate every combo on the team. Go ahead and use them all. Because Wulfgard's combo landed heat infliction and Gilberta's combo landed lifted, you'll get access to Rossi's combo, so go ahead and use that. Land her perfect timing and you'll have 3 vulnerabilities now on the enemy. Now use Wulfgard's ultimate to make sure you still have combustion, then use Rossi's skill. Since the enemy is combusted, your skill will do the most damage and you'll heal the most too. You'll also now have landed a 4th vulnerability and Rossi's claw mark effect. This is when you'll likely run out of SP, do one final strike while you also wait for your combos to come off cooldown. Your crit rate and crit damage buff should all still be intact for the rest of the rotation. After that, you want to go with Endmin's skill for the crush, then ultimate. You want to use Endmin's skill first only because it does regenerate SP. I do prefer more SP regen to keep the rotation smooth. After that, go with Gilberta's ultimate right into Rossi's ultimate. That will be the end of one rotation. Thereafter though, wait for her ult to end since that'll apply heat infliction and get rid of the nature infliction for combustion. That will then trigger everyone's combo. This is similar at the start of the combo where you did exactly just this, and continue from there. Rinse and repeat. Except you will have to skip your ult since you don't have to. But after that rotation ends though, start from the beginning of the rotation. You'll have your ults ready this time, and if you fully built your team, or at least if you've fully artificed Rossi, she should have enough ult gain efficiency for you to have a smooth rotation. infliction. Even if you don't though, repeat the same idea until you do. Gaining the heat infliction and the physical status to trigger Rossi, have Rossi convert everything and land more physical status, get the crush in. As long as you obey by that general idea, you'll play the team fine. Now there are definitely things that you may do differently, like trying to maximize Wulfgard's damage output with his ultimate. You can easily do that by using his ult only during Gilberta's ult duration. But well, mine's not really fully built, so it's not gonna do too much damage anyway. I might as well just make sure it's up for Rossi's skill. In any case though, as long as you obey by the general idea, you'll have no issues. The next team I got for you will involve Laevatain and Ardelia instead. Specifically with Ardelia, she is probably the more common option for sure, right? So here's a team with her. You want to actually start with a final strike, which triggers Ardelia's combo. Then use Wulfgard's skill and combo. Then use Ardelia's skill. Make sure the corrosion from Ardelia's combo is already on the target first. By doing that, you'll have all the susceptibility online from Ardelia. Next, you'll go for Laevaitain's skill. That will land a lifted, which triggers Rossi's combo. Go ahead and use that, get her perfect timing, and here, use Wulfgard's ult into Rossi's skill. You'll get the combustion and Rossi's talent would activate fully too. This is when you'll have 4 vulnerabilities, all susceptibilities, and claw mark. So go ahead and use Laevaitain's combo to land the crush with all the effects intact. Then use Laevatain and Rossi's ultimate. You'll actually land 2 vulnerabilities with Laevaitain's ultimate and 1 heat infliction with Rossi's ultimate. Then you want to perform a final strike to gain SP and wait up Laevaitain's combo cooldown. Use Rossi's skill into her own combo after that, get the perfect timing, and Laevaitain's combo should be up. Go ahead and use that. What you've done is you've cleared out all the inflictions and vulnerabilities while doing the most damage you can. That'll allow you to start from the beginning of the combo again with a final strike to activate Ardelia's combo. You won't be able to do this unless you've cleared out the inflictions and vulnerabilities, since that's how Ardelia's combo would trigger. You need ult energy and SP anyway, so this entire rotation just works out fine. As usual though, you do need artificing for Rossi to get her ult consistently, and you may consider running more ult gain efficiency on Laevatain as well. It's based on how you prefer to play, but the logic is still similar as long as you try your best to get that infliction into physical status in order to get access to Rossi's skill, which truly just means so much more lifted, so much more vulnerabilities, that you'll have your entire physical team combo pop off easily. As long as you do that consistently, your team will function fine. And with her team showcases out the way, let's take a look at her potentials now. Her P1 is solid, providing higher damage output on the battle skill and combo skill. More importantly though, is the SP return after using her skills Woven Ambridge and her combo skill too. Any SP is welcome for this team, and you'll find it smoother with the help of P1. It is a team that can be quite costly for SP unless you're running stuff like Akakure. P2 is a direct stat increase, which the crit rate's actually pretty valuable. P3 is a slight improvement to her talent's effect, which means slightly more damage and healing. P4 is solid, less energy cost is always welcome to speed up rotations. And her biggest one though, in my opinion, would be P5, which directly boosts her highest damage attack, which is her ultimate. You even get an additional 30% crit damage increase too for her all. Very valuable. Overall, I recommend prioritizing her weapon if you're going for Rossi's peak damage output, or her P1 if you're looking for a healthier SP economy while still getting solid damage increase overall. Or hey, go for a P5 if you're the biggest Rossi fan, because it actually does make her damage go pretty crazy. And yep, to close us off, Rossi looks to be a strong damage dealer with tons of utilities, especially helping the physical archetype with her multi-vulnerability stacks. Her strong suits are definitely with her own high single target damage output while supporting physical teams to function, with her weaker points being AoE situations, which she may not be able to have her ult land all its damage on multiple enemies. I think she's, as I mentioned before, not a must-pull character at all, but an option for players that want more versatility with their team building, specifically if players want to try out a hybrid team of heat damage and physical damage. But versatility still stays even if you want to pitch her in a pure physical team, or even if you just want to force her in like a heat team. You still have a functional team, it's just that it doesn't min-max every bit of synergy possible. I think Rossi may or may not see more plays in the future. It's just that she does so many different things that it's hard to imagine her not being used in the future. Any physical characters being released that could do a hit of heat damage or vice versa, that might mean Rossi's value will go up with that. But regardless though, in the meantime, not exactly a must pull, but a very adorable character. And that'll be all. I hope I helped you out. Do follow the channel if you're looking for guides and informative stuff like these. I do try my best to provide that. And let me know what you think about Rossi as well. Good luck with your pulls and take care.